So I might decide to keep just these two body paragraphs because they would be kind of long, or I might decide to choose another body paragraph, another topic sentence, and I could do that if I want to. So maybe I want to talk about fairness or equity, and I want to talk about how you can't make some laws. This would be about just the lower income neighborhoods. You can't make some laws that apply to only some people and not to other people, because that's not really how laws work, and that's not really fair. So then I would write my conclusion. So the way it would work is I would begin my introduction with general ideas, right? Because I'm trying to set up how to get down to my thesis. And my thesis is, my statement, my position I'm taking is here. Federal or state government should not pass laws to limit the number of sugary drinks sold in lower income neighborhoods. So I'm going to start down here to get to my point. I'm not going to say that sugary drinks are not a problem and that minority and lower income neighborhoods don't need help with that. I'm not going to say that. In fact, I'm going to acknowledge that. So I'm going to start off very broad, and I'm going to say America has many health problems related to sugary drinks, but some areas of the country have more problems than others. In fact, some groups of people have higher risks, health risks. I'm not just going to say risks, health risks due to the amount of sugar they ingest or they eat on a regular basis. And I'm going to say this has become a problem for many individuals, especially for lower income minority people. And I know that I'm going to have the article for support, so I'm going to specify that here. And in turn, these health problems lead to expensive medical treatments that many lower income people cannot afford, which forces them to suffer physically. So some people, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of introduce my idea. Some people have, this is like the topic, right? Some people have proposed that federal or state governments should limit the amount of sugary drinks sold in lower income neighborhoods. To solve the problem of these minorities who are at greater risk, greater health risk. The problem, I'm not going to say the problem because I've already said a problem. I'm going to say I'm trying to get down to that idea that they shouldn't pass the laws, right? So I'm going to say if laws would work to solve or to address these issues, then maybe that path should be considered. However, laws don't always work for health problems, health or lifestyle problems. And I'm going to call it a lifestyle problem because it's kind of a choice. Issues. And I'm going to say, for that reason, federal and state governments, it might have said or state governments, I'll go back and check, should not pursue legislation to limit the amount of sugary drinks sold in lower income neighborhoods. Now what I just did was when I write it, I won't say introduction. I mean, it is my introduction, but I won't say that because I'm going to write it like an essay. I'm probably going to double space it. So I set it up. I set up the problem, and I'm talking about the issue. And then I got more and more specific as I went, as every sentence got more and more specific until I got to the last sentence, which is my position. Federal or state government should not pursue legislation to limit the amount of sugary drinks sold in lower income neighborhoods. And now up here, I'm going to get to my topic sentences because I already brainstormed those and outlined those before I got here. So my first topic sentence is going to be, passing laws does not always solve problems. So I can say that if I want, but I'm going to say first, legislation, which is laws, does not always solve problems. And then I'm going to explain that, and in that paragraph, I'm going to use details, explanation, examples of exactly what I'm talking about, and information from the article, if that's appropriate. I don't think that the article actually said anything about legislation, so I might not say that. But I'm also going to talk about other things related to legislation. For example, if you have laws, if someone has to enforce that, and so I might talk about enforcement. I might then go on to my next body paragraph and say, secondly, laws are not always the best way to solve problems. Okay, so now I'm going to add details, definitely info from the article, because this one is about education. This is the part where I'm going to talk about education, like how education is a better way to do it, teaching someone with the brightly colored signs, it's a better way to do it. And I'm going to have examples and maybe quotations, but I'm not going to pick the whole quotation from the article. I'm just going to choose the pieces that I need, right? And then I'm going to say finally, and I'm going to put my third idea, my third body paragraph, which my topic sentence was something about fairness and equity. So I would say laws would have to apply to all neighborhoods, not just lower income neighborhoods. And then for my body paragraph, I would give details, info from the article, maybe, I don't know that it has a lot there, examples, and I would talk about like fairness and equity and maybe enforcement too. And then I would get down to my conclusion, which wouldn't really be very long, maybe 3 to 4 sentences, where I kind of just give an overview of all of the reasons that federal and state governments should not pursue legislation. And then, after I wrote my essay, then because I'm doing the writing process, so first I brainstormed it, and then I kind of outlined or organized it, and then I drafted, and now before I turn it in, I'm going to do the last step, which is editing and revising. And this one might be reading it over and making sure that I don't have any, that's revving, okay, revising. I'm making sure that I don't have a lot of spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes and vocabulary mistakes. I'm going to make sure that I didn't use a bunch of is and am and are and was and were and be and being and been. I want to make sure that I have used information from the article with quotation marks if I need to. I'm going to make sure that I have capital letters where I need to have capital letters. I'm going to make sure that what I said was clear and not just in my own head, but so somebody else could actually follow it. I'm going to make sure that I have punctuation where I need it, right? So I'm going to like look at it carefully, like edit and revise it before I turn it in. So that's what I'm asking you to do for your final exam essay. And if you do it, if you use Google Docs to do it, then you have some tools at your fingertips over here on Google Docs. If you do tools, see, it'll do spelling and grammar, and it'll say suggested comments, like you can review those. And you can translate, like down here where it says tools, it says translate document. I don't think that you have to translate the entire document, but if you have a word that you need translated, you could do that. It has dictionary here. So there are some tools that you can use that will help you, and you're welcome to use those. And obviously you can also use the articles. So I'm going to post these 2 essays for you. I have the first 15 minutes here, and I'll post that. I'll get the second one, and I'll post these on your page and send you a reminder so that you can go look at them before you take your final exam.